The Netherlands, famous for its windmills, tulips and endless canals, a country built on water, with rivers, lakes and waterways around every corner. But it's not just bikes and clogs you'll find there. There are also carp. Everywhere.
Alright. Welcome to Holland.
I've never known anything like that. I was genuinely running at one point to get away from them. After a week in Nijmegen with family, doing all the usual touristy bits, my wife, our little one and I headed further north into Friesland where my in-laws live. I'd never been here before, so it was the perfect chance to explore some new venues and, of course, catch up with more family. With a few friends over here in the Netherlands, I'd been planning this trip for weeks and already had some spots lined up to check out. But first, we settled into our beautifully peaceful B&B just outside of Heerenveen. We loved it so much here, we actually rebooked before we even left. And if you fancy staying here too, the link is in the description. So I'm currently on a bit of a scouting mission really. My daughter is down for a nap, which gives me about an hour and a half, and thankfully the three venues that my friend has given me are all within about 15-20 minutes of each other and from about 15 to 20 minutes from where we're staying. So I'm using that window to go and visit a couple of the lakes. So we did have a quick look around one earlier on before my daughter fell asleep in the car, and that's the one I'm heading back to now. But I've also just visited another one of the venues that was on the list, which, to be honest, for this trip, it's just out of the question. It's huge. I think you probably need a boat to get to places to actually fish, and I've only brought minimal kit, not much bait, but 9-foot rods, and that venue requires probably bigger rods, stuff to kit you out for fishing with a boat, and just a lot more time and effort than I'm able to give to this trip. And as beautiful as it is, it's just not going to be the one. Maybe I'll go back there at some point this week with the swimming trunks, because there was quite a lot of wild swimming there, which is very nice because the weather at the moment is low 20s, lovely sunny conditions, but just not going to be the one for fishing. So there's two venues that are now left on the list. The place that I visited this morning, which I'm also on my way back to see now, and another venue that I'm going to see this afternoon, which is only about 5 minutes from where my in-laws live. And that, from looking at the map, is a big old place, but I am led to believe that it's stopped to some extent and there's some maybe originals in there. And as with anything in the Netherlands, I mean, I'm driving along and there's a lake right there. There is water absolutely everywhere. So if you're coming over to the Netherlands looking for somewhere to fish, of course get your Vispas. That tells you where you can fish, often tells you what licenses you need to fish different places. But it also shows you just how much water there is in the Netherlands. I mean, some of it is runoff from the motorway, not likely to have much in it, but you never know. If it's wet, it's likely there's fish within it. So driving around, even though I've got my map set to places I'm going to go and visit, you're constantly looking at water. Again, this is around an industrial estate. That is a beautiful looking venue, and it's probably just water for drainage, yet it's likely to have fish in it. It's full of pads. I need to pay attention to the road, of course, but it's just, this is all part of the excitement with coming over here for a little look around, find out where you want to fish, is that you can just drive along, spot a venue, check your Vispas, can I fish it? If it's a yes, great. If it's a no, don't put the camera on. Not that I'm condoning that, and I try and stay as kosher as possible, but somewhere it looks like it's got fish in it. Another lake, just in this one piece of land. I've driven past probably 3 different lakes, and we're not even at the venue that I'm about to go and check out, but we are there in 2 minutes. This place is a bit of me, a bit more in my comfort zone, and just the view from the car alone is just so picturesque. Let me show you. I'm out of time. I didn't get a chance to walk around the whole lake. I had the drone up, had a look around. It's a beautiful looking venue, quite dark in colour actually, but you've got lily pads, you've got tree line parts. I'm not sure how much of the lake you can fish, whether you can walk all the way around. I've run out of time, I've got to get back, but this definitely looks like somewhere I'm going to fish. We've got one more lake to check out. That's this afternoon when we meet up with my in-laws. There's a lake that's not far from their house, which they have been wanting to show me since they moved to this area, and apparently it's full of carp. So of course I'm interested. And that is what you call perfect timing. Just got back. And Mario is going to wake up Lily. Mission, well, recce mission accomplished. That afternoon, we took a walk around the third and final venue on my list. It couldn't have been more different from the lake I'd visited earlier. This one was on a much bigger scale and far more public. Fishing was just one of many things going on here. Straight away, my gut told me it would take a lot more effort to unlock compared to the quiet, picturesque little spot I'd already had my eye on. In my head, my mind was made up, and the next day, I got the ball rolling. Going fishing tomorrow, but I've managed to secure myself about an hour now before tea, where I can go to where I'm fishing, which is 9 minutes on the way there, but it's 18 minutes on the way back because of how the road layout is. But tomorrow morning, our mode of transport is going to be something a little bit different. More on that tomorrow morning, but for now, I've got about an hour turnaround to get there, have a little bit of a let about, see what the lake bottom's like, see if I can find any spots. I've got some sweet corn, I've got some bait which I managed to bring over as well, and we'll pre-bait some spots so that tomorrow morning when we get there, hopefully we can get a bite because we've already done some of the work beforehand. That's the plan. Let's go. Someone fishing in the first swim and someone fishing in the first swim by the car park as well. And when I came here the other day, it definitely seemed like the people that were here went as close to the car park as possible and didn't venture any further. So when I see that sort of thing, that makes me want to go straight to the other end of the lake straight away and see if we can find something down there. That being said, here is another little swim. So it'd be rude not to check it out. This looks like it may have once been a swim. Hasn't been fished for a while. Completely overgrown. I'm in shorts and I'm already getting bitten. I ain't going in there today. This end of the lake looks lovely. And just like I thought, the further around you get, the less trodden these paths are. Another one. I'm getting eaten alive on this trip. So, I think whether I like it or not, in the heat that we're meant to get tomorrow and Wednesday, it's going to have to be joggers, at least. These bugs are ruthless. I've avoided them all week, and on this one half-an-hour trip, I've been bitten about 3 times by mosquitoes and horseflies. And it's starting to rain. Let's continue around. It was at this point I probably should have stopped venturing into the undergrowth, because the next bit didn't even get recorded as I was overrun by horseflies and mosquitoes to the point I had to physically run away from them. I've never known anything like that. I was genuinely running at one point to get away from them. Oh, they're still on me. It's like something out of a horror film. I'm going to feel them buzzing around me all night. I got up to the far end, which, as I said, I reckon not many people fish, and I think I know why. At one point, I think I was swatting 5 or 6 horseflies off me at once. There's still some around me. Oh, that was grim. I just put the camera in the pocket, grabbed my stuff, and genuinely jogged because I was getting eaten alive. Every time I looked down, there were more horseflies on me, mozzies, all sorts. Still feel like they're on me. Some of you watch this thinking, no, they're just flies. No, that many horsefly bites at once would not have been fun. I'm sure I've got bitten at least 3 times on the legs. Lots of stinging nettles. Oh, I must be bleeding somewhere because there's blood on my shirt. So I've clearly been bitten somewhere. That was horrendous. Oof. Another one. I'm out of time anyway. I pre-baited about 4 swims. But after that, I'm genuinely contemplating whether I even want to fish here. Beautiful lake, but because it's quite natural and left to its own devices in some cases, that's genuinely put me off. I can't describe how bad that was. The fact they're still landing on me here in the car park. Right, I gotta go. Ah, my legs! Yeah, blood there. Blood there. Still feel them on me. Let's get back. Back, and I need a beer after that. Cooking, ugly. Firstly,
yeah.
Hug me, for I had a near-death experience.
What?
I had a near-death experience. Hug me. Hug me.
Okay.
More importantly, beer me. Thank you.
No good sign?
I was needed. I think I've milked this scenario enough now, don't you? Safe to say, the rest of the evening was a much more chilled affair. Just woken up to another gorgeous morning here in Friesland, and as with every other morning, a lovely breakfast I think I had. Bread, egg, cheese, ham, yogurt, granola, croissant, tea, coffee and orange juice. So, my mode of transport needs to be something that counteracts the amount of calories I've just taken on. And this is what I'm going fishing in. This is known as a bakfiets in the Netherlands, and that basically translates to basket bike or tub bike, something like that. And you can understand why, because in the front is a big basket tub sort of area. These can be kitted out sometimes with seats, with seat belts and things for kids. This one is actually owned by the B&B host, and they've really kindly donated this to me for the next couple of days. This is normally reserved for their dog, so they've taken out the cushions from him. Apologies to their dog, because I'm taking it away for the next 2 days. And this is what I'm going to be chucking my fishing kit in and going fishing today in. That's the plan anyway. The distance to the lake from here is 6.2 kilometers on bike, and it should take about 19 minutes. And bearing in mind it takes 10 minutes by car, it shows there's not much of a difference really. It's a completely different route, because car takes me on the motorway, this takes me straight across country. Apologies for the wind, although it's nice and sunny today, it's very, very blowy. And of course, today's plans are subject to how savage the mozzies and horseflies are. Because if it's anything like yesterday, I don't want to stay there. I'm not going to lie, I'm not going to beat around the bush. That was grim. So we'll see how this morning goes. Firstly, getting there, and secondly, how bad the mozzie situation is. Let's load up and go. Okay, we got our mat, got our kit, we're on our way. What could go wrong? There's the lake. And here I am, still on the bike. So for those of you thinking, you didn't cycle the way I did. And yes, there's a little motor on the back that helps out. But you got to remember, this has got all my fishing kit on, all my camera kit, food and drink for a night, if we stay. And I haven't cycled for a very, very long time. My legs hurt. I feel like this seat has violated me. But we are pulling up to the lake. And hopefully, a few carp will change the soreness for a smile. My arse. Once off the bike, my first move was to check where the nearest pharmacy was. I had a strong feeling I'd be needing some anisole later that evening. With that sorted, I headed down to the first swim and got the rods out on a couple of the pre-baited spots. Well, that is conclusively what you call getting done. I just watched the camera back. Although it's settled exactly where it was, I don't think that was just a savage liner. I think that was me 100% getting done. A liner doesn't typically smack the blank like that did. Another rain's back. About to absolutely hammer it down. Maybe we've not been done. I think we got a little fish on the end. Yeah, we do indeed. Well, we got our first fish. It's not what we were after, I don't think. Oh, here comes the rain. Oh, it's a foul hook roach. That's the reason we got that take. Oh, here comes the rain. The last few hours have passed pretty uneventfully, which I can't say I'm surprised about. I'm just a bit disappointed because, of course, I want to catch something early doors, especially when I visited yesterday. Pre-baited a bit, hoping that some fish would be here. And I know I haven't moved around, but I've not seen much else to go on. It's been like this all afternoon. Pretty windy. We keep on having heavy rain showers, and then it's dry and sunny. There's pretty changeable weather conditions, and I'm not seeing much. This lake is not giving much away at all. But every now and then, when the wind does stop, I see the odd patch of bubbles. So I have pinged a third rod out where I've been seeing those bubbles, in the hope that I could just find some fish out there. I didn't get any form of a drop, so I'm pretty sure it's either very deep sill or there's some weed patches out there as well. But because I got a big mesh bag over the hook bait on a pretty supple braided hook link, I'm confident that once that had all melted down, it would be sat there presented quite nicely, a bit like a solid bag. But I'm not feeling this swim. In fact, I'm kind of not feeling this lake that much. As beautiful as it is, I'm just not getting the right vibe from the place that this is going to be where I want to stay. So I'm going to give it another 10-15 minutes in this swim. Then I might have a move, try another couple of hours somewhere else. At which point my friend Nout should be here, who's been in previous videos when I've been over here in the Netherlands. And we're going to come up with a bit of a plan whether we're going to stay here or move on, because you know about the issues with the mozzies and the horseflies. Add ticks to that one. There's a huge one on my hand there, and it's just about to bury its head. So I don't really fancy getting eaten alive by all these different bugs, especially when I don't know what's in here. We'll see.
And that's exactly what I did. I upped sticks, cycled round to the other side of the lake and pinged out 3 rods, more in hope than anything else. And once my friend Nout arrived, we hatched a plan to leave this venue and head to the large lake near my in-laws, because that place is supposedly stocked on a more regular basis and just seemed like it might be away from all those bugs. Have I mentioned the bugs? Not sure if I mentioned the bugs. Once packed down, I chucked all my kit in the back of Nout's car, but I did, however, still have to cycle over 6 kilometres back to the B&B to drop off the buck feeds.
And you tell him a tourist? What gave it away? I would laugh, but you should see the shelter I got tonight. If you watch my latest Temu video, that's the shelter I bought. Oh my days!
Alright. Welcome to Holland.
I mentioned at lake number 1 that the weather had been pretty changeable, but that was nothing compared to what we've just experienced since getting to this lake. We got the first round of stuff to where we're going to be fishing, which is the shallower part of this lake, and I haven't seen rain like that in a very long time. Luckily, Nout got his shelter up in time. We jumped in there and it lashed it down for only a couple of minutes. It wasn't even that long. As quick as it came, it passed on. We've just had another shower. Still raining a bit now, but a bit more manageable. And this is our plot. So behind us, or behind me, in front of you, is the part we're going to be fishing, which out there, we have already had a little look around with the sonar. Pretty much all of this is 1 metre, just over 1 metre, but closer in, so just off these reeds going out, it's 2 metres out towards those sticks. They're not sticks, the post, and then it goes up to 1, and there's a gully. It just travels all the way around the front of this swim and then back in around here. So now it's going to fish the left side. It makes no difference. We're fishing the same sort of tactics. One fairly close in between the bank and the floating diving jetty thingy, and then another one out on that bar. I'll then have one on that bar, and the last one will be going right about here. I recently filmed a video with the carp catcher, and that, when I was just filming that, pointing where I'm putting rods, felt very much like how he used to film his things. If you haven't seen that video and you're interested in seeing it, go back and watch it. Video every single week. Let me just get that little plug in there now. But whilst it's semi-dry, not raining too much, I'm going to get the rods out, ping 2 out, and get fishing, because although today is one of 2 days of fishing, I don't feel like I've actually been fishing that long. Probably 3-4 hours in total earlier on today. So let's get some rods out, hopefully catch fish, which go up to £40 in here. That'd be nice. We are ready to go. Nout's has got his rods out, time to do mine. And this is the setup I'm using. If you're familiar to the channel and watched me before, you'll have seen this rig half a dozen times or more, but it's my go-to on clear bottom presentation, which, although there's a lot of weed present in front of us, we have found some clear patches, especially in my right margin and then out in front of us as well. So I'm confident this is going to present well, but if it does land on a bit of weed, I've then got a little 3-bait stringer, which is just PVA tape connecting 3 bottom baits together. That then goes over the hook link and protects the hook and everything like that, keeps the hair trapped to some extent. So if it does land on a bit of debris or weed, that dissolves, leaves 3 baits around the hook bait, and I know my hook bait isn't masked by anything and can still be picked up quite easily. So that's why I'm going with that, and my usual lead clip setup on my 9-foot rods for a lake this size. It's a good job that we found spots closer in, and we've got now it's bait poke. Time to get fishing. Both of our rods are now out in position, looking good. It's a gorgeous evening now, considering how rough it was about an hour ago. Looking out here, the wind seems to have died down, the sun's out, it's lovely, but there is a bit more rain forecast, so I do need to get the shelter up. And if you haven't seen the most recent Temu video I've done, you may not have seen the shelter I'm about to be using. Now, this wasn't meant to be a gag, it's just the fact that there wasn't enough room for my bed chair and bivvy in the car on the way over here for a family holiday. So it's what I've got. I didn't bring a sleeping bag or a pillow either, so sleep may be limited tonight. I just hope we don't have rain like we did earlier on, because that will not be fun in what I'm about to sleep in. If you haven't seen the Temu video, this is what I got to sleep in. Ta-da! At least it'll keep the mozzies at bay. I hope.
With my canvas coffin erected, we sat down, enjoyed some food and a couple more beers, and watched a simply stunning sunset as a storm rumbled in the distance.
As expected, sleep wasn't the best last night, which is not just down to the shelter I was in. It was also because it got down pretty cold and I forgot to bring a sleeping bag, so I was chilly. And also, as this is a public lake, anyone can use it for whatever they like, to the point this morning we've had some nudist swimmers going through. Also, last night there was quite a lot of teenagers enjoying the beach for a party zone. So lots of drinking, lots of music, lots of shouting, right up until the early hours. So it's all part of the joy of fishing a venue like this. Just not a quaint, quiet little lake in the middle of the Somerset levels like I'm used to fishing. It's something a bit different. And unfortunately, no carp. I did have a bream. I did also get wiped out by a bird in the middle of the night. So I was up and down for that. And I've redone the rods this morning after a gorgeous sunrise. And it's been nice watching the lake wake up, the wildlife wake up, the swimmers, whether they're old men not wearing anything or people using the beach for a dog walk. It's a different vibe fishing somewhere like this, where it's not just you there fishing, it's everyone using this place, and rightly so, for how they want to use it, which is really nice. But that doesn't mean we're going to catch any fish just by enjoying the environment. So nothing's happened this morning on the rod front. We have been fishing on this sort of gully where it's at 2 meters before it goes up to 1, but once you get onto that 1 meter plateau, which is out in front of us basically, it's really, really weedy, which is why we're on the bottom of the shelf. Bit deeper water, especially after all that rain we had yesterday. It hasn't worked. But when we were coming around here yesterday, long-winded story of telling you the plan of today, we saw 1, maybe 2 fish in one of the back channels over there. And with the weather like it is today, quite calm, it's been really warm and the sun's out, I think, well, we both think that some more fish are going to be in those back channels. So we're going to spend at least a bit of time going through all the back channels, looking if we can see any fish, maybe free line some bread, setting some traps, that sort of thing. I really don't know until we actually start doing it, but that is what we're going to start with this morning. And if that doesn't work, get up the Vis planner, find somewhere else, maybe move on, because we've only got until sort of mid-afternoon to make something happen.
Unfortunately, the back channels looked just as devoid of any activity as the rest of the lake had, so we jumped in the car, hit the road, and looked for new venues to try. visited multiple spots, but with time running out, we needed some extra help. So we headed to a local tackle shop, of which now knew the owners, and they tipped us off on one last location to try before we ran out of time completely. This trip really felt like a proper Netherlands carp fishing adventure. The buzz of the unknown, discovering new waters, from intimate little venues to windswept pits, and even spots right beside the road. And as you probably gathered by now, with the video coming to a close, I didn't manage to get a bite this time around. But if there's one thing I hope you take from it, it's that you can give it a go, even on a family holiday with limited space and time. So just like I said the last time I was in the Netherlands, I'll be back, Holland.